Well, hello folks, good evening. Welcome to Karin's Orchids. Today's video is going to be an unboxing video from a nursery I haven't ordered from for, I think it is now 7 years. Yeah, and that nursery would be a German nursery called Orchids Deluxe. First I'm going to show you this beautiful path, this Dutch path, opened its bloom 2 days ago. Yes. And if you didn't see my dendrobium collection video, here's the Dendrobium nobilis sunny eyes. 8 centimeters wide flowers, measured across the petals. First time reblooming for this orchid. And this beautiful Barkeria or tolumnias, a species, is still extending its spike. Keeps on, and keeps on. And that one, the Phragmipedium Vesnus supergrandi. I can't believe it's still out. You can see where the old flowers has been. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6th one is coming as well. So it's private record this time for that one, and for me. Yeah. Lovely eyes, looking tired. It's happened today. They've been out for absolutely ages. So it's alright, I suppose. And this one we just cannot miss. Phragmipedium, Eric Young. Look, bloom sequentially. Oftentimes only with one open at a time, but it happens that the second one stays for 1 or 2 days as well. And not so very often. They usually drop when they look like, yeah, still fresh and beautiful. But this time around, something special happened. I put out a spike from the stem as well. It didn't happen last year. And yet a couple of buds more to come. So, now let's start with the unboxing, the one you came here for. I was co-ordering. A friend at the Orchid Society sent me a text message and asked if I wanted to join the other 4 guys who wanted to order from Orchids Deluxe. And, well, as I've been there to the website several times lately, simply just wanted 1 or 2 orchids. Then I went to the checkout, and yay, €30 for shipping cost. No way. So I just left the website. But now, as she offered me the opportunity, I just couldn't resist and sent her pictures of the ones I wanted. I think 1 week later, she notified me that they didn't have them anymore. As much as 3 of them was out of stock. And I gathered a little bit of information about them. Here's variegated Phalaenopsis. Phalaenopsis amabilis, variegated. This is Orchids Deluxe down there to the tag. Halfway covered by white line, I don't know. Anyways, what is it? So, as I said, I gathered a little bit of information. Phalaenopsis amabilis. The amabilis, or amabilis, I don't know, amabilis, we say here in Sweden, means lovely in Latin. And this one was called outer variegated, near flowering size for €19.95. And this one is actually the national flower of Indonesia. Carries about 10 centimeters wide flowers, white blooms which are fragrant. Can bloom, of course, they can bloom in large clusters. As always, when it comes to Phalaenopsis. Grows in Southeast Asia. the Philippines, and that area, yeah. Also called the moon orchid, or the queen of the orchids. Oh, so this one is very, very appreciated, in other words, as the national flower it is. Blooms from spring to summer, with fragrant blooms, yeah. So that's the information I gathered on this orchid. Let us look at her roots. So it's not only the nursery that delivers soggy, mossed orchids. This moss is very, very wet. Oh, yeah. I don't even want to imagine how wet it was when they first shipped a couple of days ago. I got them delivered yesterday. But, not so bad. I shan't complain. I'm going to do a full repotting on it. And get rid of all of this moss. That's for sure. And I'm going to spray him with pesticide in case of some nastiness lurking. As I always do, yeah? With my new plants. I'm going to let them sit there and dry until I pot them up into some appropriate medium. This is going to be sitting in a moss and bark and perlite mix. A little bit of charcoal. My regular mix, yeah? As you can see, it's been used to be sitting in moss. Relatively damp medium. So it will adapt faster if it's not put through any sort of too severe change, I'd say. So, just gonna wash her off and spray her and let her dry, and as I said, repot her tomorrow. Today, yeah, it's already evening. It's late in the evening, yeah. 9:30 p.m. It's going to be working day tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So, better not report it today. So today, as you saw, I wrote, is May 29, or 29th of May, yeah, whichever you prefer. Here she sits, under good LED lights, the same tube as I use for my Cattleya orchids. So my phals are actually receiving relatively good lights for being Phalaenopsis. And as you can see, there are all of them in spike. So I guess it won't harm them with a little bit more lights. Anyways, what about her? Yeah, I repotted her into my regular mix, which I'm used for Phalaenopsis. The day before yesterday, I watered her, as you can see. And the white stuff there is only a little bit of dust, some debris, such, so it's nothing to consider, really. And no pest, it's only a little bit of perlite. But it's not the best of plants, but still, she's hanging in there. You can see new roots coming. But she should be by now a little bit more dried up to its potting mix. So the root system isn't the best, but as we can see, new roots. And I really do let my phals dry up relatively severely, shall I say. Yeah, severely is the right word, before I water them again. That's been a real winning concept for my Phalaenopsis, at least. Species as novelty hybrids. But she's getting there. New leaf. That leaf is not flimsy and soft, drooping. It's erect. So there's still some life and energy, and I think this is going to be a very nice plant in due time. Now, guys, over to the next orchid to unbox. Shoo-hoo! Here we go. Here we go. When I first saw it at the parking lot, I just, oh no, not again. It's the Cattleya dowiana. And as I already have a relatively nice Cattleya dowiana aurea, which is growing so nicely, I just figured, why not buy this dowiana, the regular form, not the variety aurea with the larger flowers. Could be nice with something different as well. So we were 3 of us ordering Cattleya dowianas. And look where it led us. Look. 1, 2, 3 old pseudobulbs. This one has got a very scary color to the down part of the pseudobulb. I'm afraid that I need to remove this pseudobulb. Yeah, no use for it. And leave steady and all. This one is bad as well. I don't even know if yeah, of course I can make it survive, but it looks like it's infested by black rot or such. If it wasn't for this cane, I would say that this plant doesn't stand a chance. Look at this weak new growth. But other than complaining, $24.90 for that one as a blooming size orchid. Dose Cattleya, named after American captain. It's a species from Costa Rica and Panama, fragrant. As a medium-sized epiphytic, warm growing plant. Grows on trees and tree tops. 8 to 20 centimeters long pseudobulbs, which are stick-shaped, I read. Yes, they are. And as young plants, the pseudobulbs have basal dark sheath, such as this one, yes. Yeah, blooms in late summer, early autumn. It's got a lemony scent with a touch of vanilla and spices. It can bloom with 5 to 6 flowers on one single spike, approximately 15 centimeters wide flowers. I could read at some places on the internet that this guy can produce 25 centimeters wide flowers, but I know for a fact that that's not true. Yeah, so 15 or 12 is more like it. But let's see what we can do about it. I think all of its roots are virtually dead. More or less, yeah. But you learn your lessons for each time you order. This is a crappy piece. No use for it. This one I will get rid of. Yeah, that one came along. Yeah, not much of a plant really. But I'm going to keep the best part. And it is damp, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna, yeah. I'm gonna be quiet now. But if there's life, there's hope. You can see here, I can get rid of this one. Broke some time ago, believe. If I didn't do it. But look here, first sign of life here. But I haven't had that much trouble with growing Cattleya orchids. So I think I can manage this orchid as well. But yeah. I must have gotten the worst one. Doesn't matter, I can handle it. Yeah. I'm quite confident by now. Yeah. Look. New roots. That's great. It will plump up the other ones. As this root system is utterly dead. No life, not at all. To it. Cattleya dowianas are tricky, yeah. So, on the 29th of May, about 1 month later, here she sits, And a little bit less strong lights. I wouldn't say dappled light, but they are kind of sort of good LED tubes. But fits a T8, the old-fashioned interface for fluorescent tube connection, so to speak. Some of us still do have them. So I still use the old amateurs. But they're nice for a little bit more dappled light, craving Cattleyas and stuff. So this still serves a purpose. Anyways, here's the Cattleya dowiana 1 month later in her new setup. What do you say about her? Yeah, first of all, she's still alive. Second of all, I haven't been watering her excessively yet. We do still see new roots, a couple of more the last month. And down here, so if we get these roots down to the soil, not crawling about on top, we can, I'm certain that we can shake some life into this plant. As these guys hate being repotted, and all of the roots down there are certainly now utterly lifeless. So it's damp, this low down, so 25% down is still damp in this pot. So a solution could be to spray the surface just a little bit, teeny weeny bit around the rim of the pot, not onto it, as this one is prone to rot, black rot. This species, overall, I must say, unfortunately, but that's the truth. That's a con with keeping Cattleya dowianas, at least in my ward. Yes. But still alive. This is gonna be a monster of an orchid. I surely didn't expect this one to be this large sized. I expected it to be this size, with poor, dehydrated leaves, bad roots and stuff. No. Yeah, but in many cases that happens when you buy orchids this type. DGMRA, Winter Wonderland White Fairy. Now you can see Orchids Deluxe name more properly. Better tag. What is it? What is it? Yep. I think that this is going to be a very nice plant to have in a collection. This DJMRA stands for Degarmoara. Degarmoara. Yeah. I hope they switched and reclassified it into Aliciara lately. I hope it wasn't the other way around. Yeah? It's a cross between Miltassia cartagena times Oncidium galedo. Intermediate to warm growing orchid, low to medium light. Grows, yeah, very, very large, with fragrant, beautiful white flowers. Came at a good price, €16.95 for such a large plant. But I really, really adored the white flowers, yes. But yeah, as you can see, in a relatively desperate need of a repotting. Or shall I say extremely desperate need. This one is dead. Shit. I wonder how long it's been in here. So this one's going to be beautiful. I'm looking forward to see this orchid's progress, really. As these guys grow so nicely in my conditions here, so I can even have it outside throughout the summer period. It will bounce back in no time and look like this. I'm certain of it. Yeah, I'm satisfied with this one. So where did I hide the winter wonderland? In the middle of the summer. No, it's up here. Oh, so high. Oh, yes, extremely high up. Extremely high up. So where to put it to show you guys it on display. Oh, first spot I found. So 1 month has gone by. What can we say about it? All I can say is that it's been repotted. And it's doing fine. Other than that, no new roots anywhere. So the bulb's looking okay. But not as great as the latest one, of course, but that one's still plump and beautiful. So nothing's bad is going on with the plant. Can't see anything coming here. Should probably be from down there. So yeah. So what can we say more? Nothing really. It's still alive. Nothing new coming. But it looks fine after a total repot and all. So it's got better space here now. So to grow. Yeah, not much to see. Yeah. What do I have here? Yeah, it's a little one. Phalaenopsis stuartiana, variation nobilis times sibling. Yeah. So what about that one? I couldn't really find much information on it on Google. But it costed €90.95 near flowering size. This one is also referred to as the Stuart's Vow. I'm not really sure about this one. It showed yellow beautiful flowers on the website. But as I searched Google, I found that it might be the yellow strain. Which means that it's still a species. But it's a variety. Crossed with two different varieties of such. One should be Gold Dust and the other one Noble Award. No idea. Its flowers should be yellow, which will deepen in color with time. And a relatively slow growing variety. And stuartiana, the species itself, grows in the Philippines with 5 to 9 centimeters wide flowers. I didn't say anywhere if they were fragrant, but I don't think so. I think I had a stuartiana several years ago. Yeah, and it wasn't fragrant, so maybe this one is either. But I'm concerned about the roots now, as I cannot see many. As a medium stamp. This root is dead down there. And there. Do I see anything? Yeah, there's a new root coming. Fortunately, it is. It wasn't me ordering, but I don't think that makes a difference. People don't know me all that well, as my channel isn't, so big. I don't think that they send better flowers to people with YouTube channels. No, I don't really think so. If that was to be the case, I would have gotten much better plants than I've been receiving. Yeah. Anyways, just wash her off and spray her. Let's see now. Where's the tiny little plant? She sits there. I think she even shrunk lately. Yeah, she lost one of her 3 leaves. There, you can see the remaining part of the old leaf. But there's a new leaf coming. Looks healthy. And the largest leaf is sturdy. And she was repotted into my regular mix. No need to tell you guys what it contains. Yeah, for you guys who are new here, it is a fair amount of moss, bark, perlite, and charcoal. Yes? Works for virtually every type of orchid, as you can see here. Sometimes I just regulate the amount of moss. Other than that, nah. But it's not the best of plants, but I see no reason that it should not be in the future, as long as it doesn't get some kind of stem rot due to far too wet medium for far too long. Yeah, you can see here, something's looking promising behind this bit of perlite. Look, not one single new root anymore. You can see that there are another one coming. Yeah, there's life down there. So we're getting there. So need to scratch. Yeah. Here another one. And probably some to the backside as well. So just need to not to let the stem get far too wet for far too long due to lack of viable roots, but still don't let the new roots be too dry. So I need to cover them up with a little bit of medium. So yeah, moment 22 as we call it. Status quo. But yeah, she'll recover as you can see. So yeah, let's move over to the next orchid in this order. What's up next? Yeah. Something I told you guys that it was almost impossible nowadays to get hold of. Yes. And I still do believe that is true. Bulbophyllum medusae. Looks like this. Nowadays it's also called, or shall we say belong to, stuartians. Yeah. Grows in Southeast Asia and Thailand, Malaysia, Borneo, etc. The name medusae comes from the Greek mythological figure called Gorgon medusae, inspired by the snake-like appearance of its long lateral sepals. Yeah. I can tell you that much, yeah. I witnessed it in bloom, yeah. And it's a species that said, perhaps, €24.95 for flowering size. I don't recall its flowers to be fragrant, relatively short-lived, as always when it comes to bulbos, but oh so interesting. And it grew well in east-facing window without any additional lights. It's growing on nicely. Flowered, I think, in winter. Don't remember. But this one hates to be repotted. So I was really hoping for it to be sitting in fresh medium, so I wouldn't have to disturb it. I don't really know. I wouldn't want to leave it in this medium, but I guess I have to. Yeah, it's got a reasonable root system down there. So if I dig in there, it will probably take such a great toll on this orchid. As much as it will probably decline, and in a month's time or two it will be dead. It's a very sensitive orchid to repot. So it's not going to be any repotting to this orchid, but I'm going to twist her like this. I'm going to put the whole lot into a hanging basket and add coconut tusk fiber chips and perlite and charcoal into it and hang her in my window and hope for the best. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I wonder if she's still alive or not. I can see some green at least. I know that she's alive. Well, I haven't been watering her lately. I skipped her latest watering as she was still a little bit damp, so I didn't include her in these guys, the hang guys, watering. I mean, just because it's watering day for some of the orchids hanging here doesn't mean that it's appropriate to water this guy. So, check the soil. And if you're not able to determine, there's something you can do, which is relatively helpful. And that is to use a moisture meter. I can tell you whether a plant is damp still or not. Yeah, this one is dry already. It's a good tool, especially when not growing in bark. It can sometimes be confusing and misleading, a little bit misleading, as there are so much air surrounding the pieces of bark, so it can be quite difficult for the meter to measure it properly. This guy, which is sitting in coconut husk fiber, look. Yeah, I know she's still moist. She should be still moist. She was watered 3 days ago, this bulbul. So, as I said, a good tool for the right type of medium, that is. Let me see what it will show here. Yeah, bark again, dry. But I know she doesn't need any water. Look, still moist down there. So, alright, I don't need to repeat myself. Just want to prove my point. Let's take a closer look at her. As I dig down here, I can still feel that her moss is relatively damp to the touch. My fingertip gets wet, all wet. So, the moss keeps the moisture extremely long. As I kept the moss, as I said I was going to do. So I kept that promise. But what do we see here? Yeah, I buried the pseudobulbs as good as I could into this, perlite and char, chips, and charcoal mixture, yeah, which I surrounded the moss plug with, yeah. As I know for a fact that a cocoa char doesn't break down as fast as other substrates. So that's why I choose this type of medium with perlite, which is inorganic, as well as charcoal, of course. So there's life and there's hope. But yeah, it's her newest growth, so that wasn't so surprising. But that one looks alright as well. Not much happening. All I really need to do, as well, new root. All I really need to do with this orchid is go like this. Use the sprayer, as I do not need to wet the soil down there anymore. That would be a lousy idea. So let's see too that the new roots are being covered with something. Yeah, I think this is totally fine for this orchid. And a little spray. That's okay. Still alive. Doing something at least. That has only been 1 month. You shouldn't hope for miracles in 1 month's time. So, over to the next orchid in this order. A kind of surprise. One I know least about. It is Phalaenopsis luce, Twilight Stuarti. What else? KF? Whatever. Anyways, what is it? Yeah, it's a hybrid for €24.95. Flowering size, as you can see. What an abundance of white flowers with yellow center and brown. Resembles the original stuartiana species a lot. So, it is a cross between Phalaenopsis stuartiana and Phalaenopsis luce Twilight Rainbow. So, This one was Louise Twilight Stuarti, as is crossed with Stuartiana. So, look, there will be flowers to be seen before long. Yes. Needs a repot, though. Yeah, it's alright. So, I'm just going to soak her so I can get rid of the stuff and spray her. But, looks like a good orchid to me. And hopefully she's going to be fragrant as well. Hopefully, yeah? Good sized. Might be relatively bloom willing. We shall see. Maybe I'm going to make a Phalaenopsis orchid collection video part 2 very soon. I guess you're not going to be surprised when I revealing this guy's location. Yeah, it's here in spike, repotted. These are the 3 flowers that made it, but they are oh so gorgeous. Look at the spotted sepals. Look. And what an amazing display this one could put out, if we're lucky, at a later stage. That would be. As this spike wasn't very successful at all. A couple of blasted buds and stuff. So all we can do now is not to overwater it and wait for something else to appear down here. Yeah, at least I can see a new root. That's great. And I'm going to keep the stem from being overwatered, just like I did for the other one I just showed you guys. So they both got stuartianas in them. Doesn't mean that they are prone to catch black rot or more than other Phalaenopsis. I'm not sure. Maybe they are. I haven't really read up on them, the stuartianas, all that much. But I'm going to be careful with the watering from now on. So, yeah, sad with the spike, but at least I got to enjoy a couple of flowers. So I know what they may look like on the next blooming. And are they fragrant? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But now it's late in the evening, so it's not the fullest potential of its fragrance now, I assume. I haven't sniffed them before. I must admit I forgot. But they're great, they're beautiful. Let's just try to keep this plant alive. Yes. Yeah, it's okay. That was a little unboxing, and I'm not going to do a report or not report session this time. I already told you what I was going to do with them. There's not much more else to say, and please do subscribe if you like my content, and give it a thumbs up if that's the case. And have a lovely evening, day, morning, wherever you are in the world, and take care, and we shall talk soon. Bye-bye. Welcome back.